Hello, and you're listening to Little House of the Dragon. I'm Lord Corey Ryan Forster, and
Lady Kirby.
And boy, we got a doozy for you. So we just want to say, first off, we're so sorry that this episode is coming out later than usual. We try to drop them the morning of the newest episode, which comes on tonight, Sunday at 9 o'clock. But we had a lot of tech difficulties this week. A tornado came through our town, yada, yada. But we can promise you that will not be the case. Going forward, they will be available on your Puttin on Air's podcast feed and at watchpoa.com, our YouTube, the day every Sunday, so that you can watch it leading up to the episode of House of the Dragons. And also, because this episode is brought to you by CoreyWritesForYou.com, which is my Substack, you can subscribe there totally for free and get the episodes early and ad-free. That is just the episodes of Little House of the Dragon. Early and ad-free. Pretty good deal, huh?
Hey, can't beat free.
Can't beat free. All right. Enjoy this episode of Little House of the Dragon. And if you have not, please give us a 5-star review. Please share with your friends. It really helps. We appreciate you letting us into your living room or your tablet or however you consume this. Let's get on, shall we?
All righty. Deuces.
Pinkies up. All right, everybody, and welcome back to Little House of the Dragon. We have our squire with us. That's Laura James. You will see her in and out of the episode because we don't have a babysitter, and you will hear her laugh. She is our laugh track. Now,
yes.
I do have technology that can drown her voice out, so don't worry. But just so you know, if you got a problem with her, you got a problem with me. So that's just how it is. This is a family affair. We're very happy to be back. This is season 3, episode 1, House of the Dragon. We've been waiting a very long time. Obviously, the Night of the Seven Kingdoms was a wonderful filler to get us here. I enjoyed it very much. Tonally, it was very different. However, very Westerosi. But I personally am very glad to be back in the dragon world. My name is Corey Ryan Forster. I'm one of your hosts, along with everybody's favorite, Lady Kirby. Lady Kirby, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Now, before we get this episode started, I do want to do what I think we did in every episode last year, which is I'm going to give you Google's summary of this first episode. So that we can, again, this is Google, they get things wrong, but House of the Dragon season 3 episode 1, Salt and Sea, Fire and Blood, which premiered June 21st, 2026. It was a 72-minute opener, so only about 18 minutes shy of being pretty much a full movie, which makes sense. It cost definitely as much as a full movie. And it jumps straight into the war. The scene 1, we've got the Veil, which is Rhaenyra. They've spelled it wrong.
Are you talking about Daemon's daughter?
Oh, yeah, that's Rhaenyra.
Yes.
God damn you, George R.R. Martin. She finally gets her dragon. Cold open on the mountains. Rhaenyra, played by Phoebe Campbell, tracks the wild dragon, Sheep Stealer, and this time she doesn't just feed it, she mounts it. The show makes it very explicit. Rhaenyra has claimed Sheep Stealer, a huge book change.
Sheep Stealer.
He's got that's my favorite. I feel like I have more in common with that dragon than any dragon. He's sort of got a southern mouth, the south mouth, as it will. This is a huge book change that the episode leans into. It's presented as a triumph, but obviously there is foreshadowing, and it is immediate. Then we're in Dragonstone, Rhaenyra versus Jace. Back at Dragonstone, Rhaenyra is told ships are massing for the gullet, and she wants to fly Syrax. Is that how you say it?
Yes.
Syrax herself. The synopsis frames it as her acting driven by her faith in Alicent to position for King's Landing. Jace pushes back hard because his mother is queen. She couldn't risk it. He locks Rhaenyra in her chambers, and as the Koyomi recap puts it, he secretly locks his mother inside her chambers and flies into battle himself on Vermax alongside Bela and Moondancer. In King's Dragon, the Greens are in disarray. Aemond is sitting the Iron Throne now, but he's restless. Alicent is working her own angle, forging letters and playing her own game, and she convinces Aemond to fly to Harrenhal instead of staying to defend the city. There's also a quick, brutal cutaway. Aegon has been captured, and Larys, aka Strongfoot, is exposed in the fallout. There's awkward incest, there's political backstabbing, and it's setting up the Greens as fractured. Now, in the Riverlands, Daemon gets his wolves. Daemon finally links up with his northern allies. The episode confirms Daemon and his Riverland forces finally linked up with Roddy the Ruin. Roddy the Ruin, I believe, played by our boy from Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, that's his name, is Roddy the Ruin?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, he came in all Braveheart.
Yeah, and as we will get to in this episode, there are a ton of new characters, all of whom played by some of my favorite actors of all time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they called me and said, "Hey, we're adding 4 new people. Who do you want to play them?" And my first thought was, the daddy from Grantchester, please.
Oh God. Yeah.
We learn in the same breath that those winter graybeards led by Roddy the Ruin defeated and beheaded Jason Lannister's forces. That's one of the 5 major deaths. Oh, by the way, this is a spoiler episode, so if you haven't watched it, you might want to go watch it. The show, let's see, where am I here? That's one of the 5 major deaths the premiere has. Jason Lannister, which I don't know about you, I'm fine seeing him die.
I know, yeah, he's such a puss.
He's such a puss. And a Lannister. Fuck the Lannisters.
Mm.
The Gullet, why the Triarchy came. Before the ships clash, the show gives Sharoko Lohar a motive that isn't politics. The Triarchy did not agree to join because they care about the Westerosi politics. Sharoko Lohar made a decision to rally her fleet so she could enact revenge upon the Sea Snake, Lord Corlys Valerian, which is, of course,
Sea Daddy?
Sea Daddy. Yeah, Sea Daddy.
Yeah.
Sea Daddy, the Sea Snake. Corlys is already at sea when the High Tide is sacked, and the episode stages the promised Corlys versus Lohar, the sea duel from hell. The Battle of the Gullet, dragons over the water. This is the bulk of the 72 minutes. The Triarchy fleet springs the trap with scorpions. Jace and Bela arrive on Vermax, and Moondancer cheered at first. Rhaena suddenly dives in on Sheepstealer. The battle quickly descends into chaos when Rhaena unexpectedly arrives, and Decider notes Sheepstealer sees both Vermax and Moondancer as threats. Distracted, Vermax takes the first scorpion hit and survives, but the Triarchy keeps firing. Sharako himself is on the deck of her ship. The Bitch Fist and Aim. Is that really what the ship's called? The Bitch Fist?
They call her that.
The Bitch Fist. Okay,
Yeah.
I was wondering because, again.
Which, oh my God, her death. She got on my nerves.
I know, buddy, but this is Google's synopsis, so I never necessarily trust it. Vermax screams, pulls an anchor into the water, and crashes. The death. Jace End is shot in 3 beats, exactly as the recaps describes. Vermax is struck by harpoons and crashes into the sea. Jace escapes the dragon and swims to Driftwood. He's then felled by 3 volleys of arrows from the Triarchy's pirates, or, as Kamoy puts it, totally hit by multiple arrows.
And served face while doing it, too.
Served face.
Literally, like, when it, hit his neck, it was like... I mean, literally, it was the most beautiful-looking death in the show.
Served face. I'm going to start using that.
Yeah.
It's framed as hubris. He locked his mother away to protect the crown, then died, proving he wasn't ready. The episode doesn't stop there. Shakira Lohar throws Tywin Lannister overboard, and later sources confirm both Shakira Lohar and Tywin Lannister were killed. Shakira herself is killed by Alan of Hull, a surprise because she survives in the books. Don't know if you know that. Lord Corlys Valerian falls into the sea and doesn't resurface before the episode's end, with Decider listing him as lost in the drink. Alongside Tywin, the show leaves his fate unclear, even though the book keeps him alive. The final tally the premiere is credited with Jason Lannister, Tywin Lannister, Sharoko Lohar, Vermax, Jacaerys Valerian, And we close where we started with Rhaenyra locked in her room, hearing the news. The episode ends on that devastating twist as Jaehaerys, Valerian, and Vermax were killed, coming right after what was otherwise a black victory that saw the Triarchy destroyed. The last image is Bela on Moondancer circling the wreckage while far away. Rhaena struggles to control a bloodied sheep stealer. The show even has characters debate whether she is indirectly responsible for Jace's death at the Battle of the Gullet, where she lost control of Sheep Stealer. That's the whole premiere. A secret pact, a son locking his queen mother, a new dragon rider, and the dance's first true naval slaughter, all in one episode. And speaking of which, I think it would be time to take a quick break to tell you that this episode is sponsored by CoreyWritesForYou.com. Please go to CoreyWritesForYou.com. That is my Substack. And right now I'm in the middle of a Southern crime drama called Here We Rest that is getting rave reviews. And by the way, I will play both chapters at the end of this podcast. I'm putting them at the end. That way, if you don't want to listen to them, you can just leave the episode. Kirby, do you have anything to promote?
Just good vibes.
Kirby promotes good vibes as always. All right, well, let's hop into the episode. I had you take notes as we were rewatching it because I am lazy, so I would like you to direct from now on, and I'll stop talking.
Okay. So I just made some little notes of things that I thought actually were really funny. Like Aegon's look on his face when he realizes like Strongfoot betrayed him, which I don't know if he actually technically betrayed him. He just seized the moment and thought, we're going to die if I don't try something.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think it was the greatest idea, but he was like faced with certain death. And in those situations, you kind of just got to throw a Hail Mary out there.
And I'll tell you, the Game of Thrones universe can make you like the most despicable, disgusting people. Because, like, why am I loving Aegon, kind of?
No, I hear you. It can also make you...
Like, remember how he had his bastard kids, like, fight to the death and stuff? Like, like he's terrible. But
he's horrible.
Why am I, like vibing with Aegon right now?
I hear you. And also the show can make you hate people that are otherwise good. Like in the first season of Game of Thrones, like can't tell you how many times I wanted to throw the remote at the wall because of something Ned Stark did. And
I'm sorry, but he was stupid.
He was stupid, but like obviously a good person, pure of heart. But I was like, you're so dumb. Like, and when he died, like obviously it was a big shock, but I was like, I mean, yeah, dog, like what do you expect?
I saw a clip the other day and it's like how he thought he could just tell Cersei Lannister all the things he knew and was like, oh yeah, y'all need to flee King's Landing. Like he really thought they weren't just going to murder him.
Right. And like, I know that you have to do it for dramatic purposes, but like tell your boy first.
Yeah.
Like, and I know it's like, well, he was on a hunt. Wait till he gets back. Like, don't let Cersei know that. But again, Ned is an idiot. And it's sort of, I always thought that perhaps that was George R. R. Martin making a pretty terrible point, but a true point nonetheless, which is like in this world, honesty will get you nowhere. Like being a good person is all well and good, but like when you're dealing with politics and all this stuff, you've got to develop some type of skin. And somebody like Ned just doesn't have that. You know what I mean? I also think in that scene you're referring to, like, it was very clear that Strongfoot didn't like coach Aegon up of like, it's like
Aegon goes, my friend likes to jest or something.
But he didn't coach him up in sense of like, hey, listen, we're trying to sneak in there, right? And you are to these people the usurper. We know that you think that you are the rightful king, but they don't believe that. And in order to get in, we're going to have to like fib a little bit. So we know you don't like them, but could you not spit on them? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Could you just bend a knee?
Like right now, you are not on the throne, and these people do not recognize you as the king. So you're not like your whole life you've been able to just say, do this, do this. You can't do that here. No. So maybe don't spit on them.
Well, I think it's because literally he's just gone unchecked his whole life that he still is like, well, I'm better than you. I can spit on you.
Of course.
Instead of just realizing the consequences.
I had also forgot that he had been burned beyond recognition, and that's why he looked like an insane person. Like, they really, kudos to the show, but like, they just went, it's like we picked up right where we left off.
And how much time has passed since he got burned.
I mean, I don't think
it like it doesn't say.
Maybe just enough time for him to like heal.
Well, because he's obviously he's in so much pain in the carriage, so like he's past the point where like okay he's gonna live, but like he's still like in extreme pain.
Yeah, I mean he had 3rd-degree burns,
yes.
like and also fucking. How about Strongfoot for getting milk of the poppy? Like, dog, like if you're going with the king and he's got 3rd-degree burns, I'm sorry, but like before you get your iPhone charger, before you get your sleep mask, you get milk of the poppy.
And also like can like the carriage like driver like just like stop at like their CVS,
yeah,
like they're right, like there's not a shop.
They've got an apothecary, like where they can just walk in the woods and find a witch to make them milk of the poppy. Proceed.
Well, another thing that I thought was crazy is that Rhaenyra was so quick to believe Alicent, which Alicent did not realize that Aegon had left in the night. So, yes, Alicent was telling the truth.
Right.
Like, and was willing to sacrifice Aegon because she knew, like, this is the only way the rest of my family's going to live. And, like, Helaena is obviously completely innocent and pure. The most innocent Targaryen that's ever Targaryen ever is
Correct.
Helaena and her children, R.I.P., the one kid. But
which means Helaena is going to die the most horrific death.
Oh, yeah. She's not made for that world.
Absolutely not.
But why was Rhaenyra so quick to believe her, even though she was telling the truth? She literally, like, 2 seconds later, the council's like, nah, dog, nah. And she's like, no, we must go at once. Is it because, like, deep down, she's like, no, she's still my friend? Or do you think it's because, I've been doing a little rewatch, and first season, there is some sexual tension between Alicent and Rhaenyra.
Without question.
And it's like, is it because there's still those feelings there?
I mean, I think there's, you could look at it one of two ways. Like, I want to be team girl power and Rhaenyra is the queen, but like, she doesn't, like, if we're going to compare her to like Dany, another female Targaryen queen, she does seem to let her, not that Dany didn't let her emotions get in her way. She did. Her emotions were rage that got in her way. But it does seem clear to me that Rhaenyra is like trying to live a double life. Like she's it's like, I'm queen right now, but then I got to think about this, and that. And it's like, unfortunately, especially in that world, when you're going to be a ruler, you've sort of got to be single-minded and you've got to look at the bigger picture. And yeah, I do think that like there's a world in her brain where she thinks she can have it all. Like she's going to be able to be the queen, but then Alicent will forgive her and she can end up being one of her ladies at the court. And she's not quite, in my opinion, grasping that, like, bro, this is a civil war that's happening. And we'll get into some of the thoughts I have later because we're not to those scenes yet. But yeah, good point.
Yes. Well, and another, oh, that's good. That just went away.
Edit.
Literally, how did it just go away?
That's in previous 30 days.
Yeah, no, I just made a new note and it's deleted now.
Notes.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's...
So you just don't have your notes anymore?
Literally, which I only had a few things, but I don't know how to... Is there a, like, recently deleted page?
Yes. Yeah, say. Yeah.
I don't know how that happened.
I've been using notes my entire life. I don't know how you did that.
I must have just, like, my phone must have been open and I didn't realize it, and I was just, Oh, well. It's
all
okay.
right. Well, go by memory.
Okay. Where did we stop with the show? Like, what scene?
We stopped with,
right after the Starks?
The Starks, when homie from, with the face.
Yeah.
Oh, those are the Starks? I didn't clock that for some reason.
Oh, yes. That's why it's such a big deal.
Okay.
It's the Stark showing up.
Okay, that I'm so stupid. I didn't clock that for some reason. I was so excited.
There's like a wolf on something.
Oh, that's right. I was so excited.
Are we back on?
Yeah, of course.
Oh.
I was so excited just to see the dude from Gladiator.
Yeah.
That I was just like, yeah, right on.
Yeah,
but you're right. There was a wolf sigil on there.
Yeah,
okay.
no, it's the Starks. And literally he came up like all brave. At first, I mean, I'm thinking, oh my God, Daemon is wore out and he's just got more people he's going to have to try to kill.
That's what I thought too.
When Daemon has that look on his face where he's like, oh,
fuck.
Again.
Jesus.
And then when he has that freaking Lannister head and he said, we're here to die for the Dragon Queen. That is such Northerner energy too.
Absolutely.
That's such Northerner energy.
It's such Northern energy. And it's also interesting, and it just shows like the difference 200 years makes, because later on the Starks would not ride for the Targaryens at all. Like in the Game of Thrones world that we know, the Starks are obviously all about Robert's Rebellion and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're loyal to who you have to be for safety most of the time.
100%. Yeah, I mean, it's like the mob. Like you're the same thing as like this person's under protection of the king, which means like, hey, you don't fuck with them so long as they're in this area. And then there'll be spots where they're like, I can protect you here, here, and here, but outside of that, whatever. But like, yeah, it's a very mob mentality.
Well, and a perfect example of these rulers not being able to understand the common man. There's an episode in Game of Thrones when Daenerys says that the people of King's Landing cry out for their true queen. And who was it? They said they cry out for food, for water, and bread. Like, they don't care about the politics. They care about the fact that they're hungry and stuff.
Right.
So, like, they're loyal to whoever they need to be loyal to.
Right. Like any of those scenes where like in the first Game of Thrones when they're telling who was Dany's brother's name? He was Viserys.
Yeah,
when they were telling,
was not like the OG Viserys.
Absolutely not. No, could not be more different. Matter of fact, I think he is like that because he carried that name, so he was like very egotistical.
Well, yeah, he was the son of the Mad King.
Right, exactly. But there's those scenes where they're like, people in pubs drink secret toast to your health, and it's like the fuck they do.
Yeah, no,
they do.
Yeah,
nobody does that. Like we see that a little bit in like maybe modern politics now because of the internet and stuff, but like for the most part, yeah, people just in any world, fictitious or not, like, do we have food? Is there work? Can we afford a home? That's all we care about. Now, if you're the king that's going to get that done, I'm all for you. But like, I don't give a fuck about your family line or your any of that stuff. Like, matter of fact, if there's someone that's going to do it better, you sir. Can't wait for you to use
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, they don't care.
that is where we paused was Daemon meeting with the Starks. So we will be right back right after this. This episode is brought to you by Diet Coke. Do they actually give us money? No. Could we do the show without it? Also no. Diet Coke. It's diet and it's Coke. You're a DC person, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, why? What is it that you like more about DC than Coke Zero? Because Coke Zero is superior.
Coke Zero tastes like a Coke that was shaken up a little bit. Like it's not, like it doesn't burn like a Diet Coke does.
Okay, you need it to hurt.
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to absolve my sin.
All right, well, catch us up. We're back.
Okay. Let's see. All righty.
You're doing something to the TV there.
Oh, what the?
Your fat ass is sitting on it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we good.
Okay.
All right, so we get to wherever Crispy Cole is and Allison's brother.
Crispy Cole? Oh, yeah. Crispy.
Yeah. And Allison's brother sees one of the knights raping.
Graping, I believe we're supposed to say.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Graping or R-wording.
Yeah.
Innocent girl. And LOL that he thought, which I mean, yes, in a perfect world, you would tell someone and they would be outraged.
Sure.
But LOL that he just was like, something has to be done about this knight R-wording this girl as if literally in that world that mattered.
Right. It mattered.
Literally
I'm
nothing.
surprised they even had a word for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, he said, did he say ravaging?
Ravaging, yeah. Like, I think that the word rape probably wouldn't. Yeah, it's like that wouldn't even exist because it's like, it's not illegal.
Well,
It's
yeah.
like,
and to them, they're knights. They can take what they want.
right. But it's like, a knight can take what they want, therefore it's no big deal. But also, if it was a peasant person doing it, they wouldn't care about that either because they're like, we're not dealing with their situation. Like,
yeah, so he just like actually thought like something's gonna happen.
Yeah, noble of him to think that.
Yes, and Crispy's just still in a bad mood ever since Rhaenyra in season 1 wouldn't just go off and sell spices with him.
Yeah, and I mean, you know what? To his credit, A, we wouldn't have a show, but B, her life would be a lot easier if she'd have just went on the road with Crispy and sold spices. And there's a lot of, I mean, these books are based on like the War of the Roses and stuff. The spice trade was a hell of a thing to get into back then. So it wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world, but she craves power.
Yeah, well, I mean, everything would have been different if Viserys didn't marry a child and have all the extra kids.
Yeah, you'll have that.
Yeah. But so then they get to is it Harrenhal?
Harrenhal.
Okay, the dragon seeds are at Harrenhal, and Ulf is just being Ulf.
Yeah.
Which to me, Ulf sounds like a verb of what someone does.
Yeah,
so it's funny
right.
like that. Like Ulf is a verb to me.
He's over there Ulfing around.
Yeah, and he's just being an Ulf. And so he's just griping, literally just being an idea. I was spelling idiot. Like I'm so used to spelling words.
Well, Laura James is here.
Yeah. No, like we need to spell idiot, but we can just talk about right in front of her, evidently.
Well, I do think it's important that she knows what's right and wrong.
Yes.
You know.
But basically, Ulf's like, yeah, I'm gonna get me a castle, and dude bros are just like looking at him like, what do you mean? He was like, yeah, I mean, like she promised us castles, and they're like, she promised that you'd be a knight. He'd be like, okay. And they were like, yeah, you'll get a horse and stuff. And he's like, I have an effing dragon.
Yeah.
And they're like,
don't need a horse.
They were like, well, I mean, you'll be respected. And he was like, people will respect me because I have a dragon.
Correct.
Like, a title isn't a house, you know?
And for the record, that does suck. But I also feel like he's missing the big picture here, which is like, hey, you know how you just said people will respect me if I have a dragon? They'll also give you their house. You know what I mean? Like, if you're like, you don't seem to me, Ulf, to be the kind of guy who does things completely by the book. Mm-hmm. Take your dragon, go rape and pillage, get you a house, you'll be fine. They're giving you the means with which to acquire all of those.
Yeah, I'm just assuming that Ulf's mom was the lowest of the lowest in Flea Bottom.
Absolutely. Just
because other dude, which I can't remember his name, like the other dragon seed, not Corliss's bastard, but the other one, he like seems like a nobleman.
Right. Yeah. Hey, dude, you know how rough you got to be like the bottom bitch of Flea Bottom?
Yeah.
Like pretty rough stuff.
Yeah. Ulf's just got a bad attitude. It's like, I mean,
well earned, I'd say.
Yeah. I mean, like, they're asking a lot of these dragon seeds without honestly giving them enough in return.
Sure.
Like, if you're literally going to say, hey, first of all, they risk their lives to see if a dragon would even pick them.
Right.
That whole scene at last season was very dramatic, you know. All this, they survive that, and then they're expected to ride their dragon into battle just for them to get to be knights.
Right.
Like, that literally is, that's not like nothing. Like, they literally should have their own castles and should literally have like bannermen under them.
Couldn't agree more. We do it in this country and offer them free college and then don't give them a job with their degree. So that is, I feel like it's worse in a time when there's dragons, like everything's a little bit more hardcore, but it's not unrealistic, like, because like that is sort of just how warfare has been treated. And obviously this is a fictitious world, but like that's how warfare has been treated forever. Like you send the poor people to do it. You promise them just enough to make them go, well, I never could have got that on my own, so I guess I'll do it. The only difference between how we do it now and back then, and we'll get into this in a couple of scenes, is that at least back then, like the kings and stuff went to battle too. So, and also not like a lot of like Jaime Lannister, for instance, Jaime was as noble as they came, but when it came to time to fight, Jaime went out there and fought.
Yeah.
And that used to be a thing. Like George Washington wasn't the president at the time, but like he was the leader of the Continental Army, and there was a lot of pressure from the Continental Congress of like, hey, George, you don't have to go out there. And he was like, no, like these are my people. This is what I'm going to do.
With the ship.
So it was, I will say, a little different back then because they didn't ask anyone to do something that they weren't willing to do themselves. And it's going to come up later in this episode that perhaps sometimes they shouldn't do that. But
yeah. Well, then we cut to Raina just trying to, tame Sheep Stealer, which in my head, I'm thinking, do you not think that that's not his Christian name?
Sheep Stealer, yeah.
Like that, do you think that maybe he's just like, I'm not, abiding by you because my name's really
my name's not Sheep Stealer.
Yeah, like that's what people have been making fun of me about.
Right.
Do you think I'm going to answer to that? Like, maybe my name's Kyle.
Right, because they clearly speak Valerian.
Yeah, like his name's probably like...
My name's Kyle.
Yeah.
And they keep calling me Sheep Stealer.
Yeah, and I mean, like, do you not think that maybe... Like, that is not the old Valerian. Like, he's not supposed to be Sheep Stealer.
No, I agree. And that maybe we will find out later in this season.
Like, you know what? I would have literally... heeded your word if you would have just like, I don't know, even just made up a name.
Yeah.
East to something, a YS to some word and call me that instead of Sheep Stealer.
Yeah, it's a pejorative in this case.
Call me like Dragonese or something. Literally something. But he's
y'all are so good at making up names that sound ridiculous, but Sheep Stealer?
Yeah,
okay. By the way, I did that one time.
Yeah, and I'm sorry I'm Sheep Stealer because I have to survive because no one just feeds me.
Yeah, also, what do you mean Sheep Stealer?
Like I'm just eating.
I have to eat. I don't know that it's your property or whatever. Should I call you Potato Stealer?
Yeah, and maybe my underbite is from like all of my days of having to ravage for food because all the other dragons just get to be like in the keep just doing their thing, and then you come up in here out of nowhere calling me Sheep Stealer.
Right, and as you said, he's already dealing with the underbite. Like he's sort of the Rudolph of the dragons.
Yes.
Like this poor guy, he's got an underbite. You're dead naming him.
Yeah.
So like
you're
dead naming him. So like maybe he don't fuck with you like that.
Yeah.
My belly's just been showing this whole time. That's not good.
It wasn't. You're good.
Okay.
You're good. So then we pan to Helena and Allison talking, and Allison is writing a letter as Aemond, like she's pretending to be Aemond.
Yeah.
And
federal crime.
Yeah, and Helena's talking about how Aemond is scared, and I don't know. I'm assuming this is because of her like abilities. Like Aemond's not just like, "Hey sis, let's chit chat and talk." Like,
sure.
Because I mean, he is the oddest, the weirdest of the weird.
He's very odd. He looks like a bird.
Yeah, he is a bird.
He's a big time bird.
Yeah.
I mean, he definitely though has that Targaryen regal look to him. Like he looks like a king.
It's Zoolander.
I mean, let me ask you this, like, do they have straightening irons back in this time? Because his hair is like comically straight.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure they just had like how they had back in the day here, how they just had a literal like a iron or a cast iron like iron.
Right, and you would just...
and then you just heat it up, and then you just... I mean, that's what...
Yeah, because he looks like a doll.
Yeah. A doll that Sid from Toy Story got a hold of.
Yeah, without question.
Yeah. So then we pan to C Daddy and his
By the way, C Daddy, I wanted to mention this to you earlier, but we're watching the episode. I don't think they'd ever do it because like they had teased like maybe doing the Jon Snow prequel as like a movie, but they were worried. They were like, well, we put a movie out and that means that we have to expect everybody to have watched the show or whatever. I want do you remember the movie Master and Commander with Russell Crowe?
Nuh-uh.
Okay, it's a wonderful movie with Russell Crowe where he's the master and commander of this big ship back in the pirate-ish days.
Yeah.
I want a master and commander movie of Sea Snake. Like I don't want it tied to any of the other Game of Thrones stuff. I just want him on the water doing his sea snake stuff because I'm like, again, I'm a heterosexual man, but I just he's just got it, and I just love it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, he literally has like the swag.
He's got the swag.
Yeah,
I need to see him and all the other. Oh, I don't know if I told you this last time, but I follow Black people Twitter on Reddit.
Oh God, so funny.
And do you know what they call the sea snake?
What?
Draymond Targaryen. Isn't that so funny?
God, that is so good.
All right, go ahead with your review.
Well, all right. Well, we pan to him, and he's like on his boat chilling, and his bastard son, Sir Alan, like which I guess he got. Did he get knighted?
He didn't get. He got in the last season, I'm pretty sure. And I'll be honest with you, and I'm sorry to our fans. I was going to like rewatch all of season 2 before this, and I really wish I had of, considering how. And it's my fault, not theirs. They really just go straight into it.
Well, it's not our fault that HBO literally is like, you know what? The United States has entered like 5 wars since the last season. Like we don't remember.
And not only that, like I watch so much television, me and Amber, that like everything gets convoluted to me.
Yeah.
But I'm fairly certain in one of the last episodes of season 2, he like not adopts them or whatever, but whatever it is you do in this world to be like, hey, you're no longer a Snow. You are a Targaryen. You're not a what's the Targaryen's bastard name? Smokewood or some, I don't fucking, either way, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
He made him official from what I remember. Tell us in the comments if I'm wrong. I'm very certain that I could be.
Yeah, I don't know what their bastard name is. Well, because he's not Targaryen, he's Valerian.
Valerian, my bad. Yeah,
so
you're
like
right.
He's probably something like, something water.
Water,
like, there's like snow and then there's sand. And
I would have thought the water would have been the Greyjoys people. No, they're the Iron something.
Yeah,
whatever. Doesn't matter.
God, I keep burping.
Rivers is the Tullys, like the river land.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Because Alice Rivers.
Alice Rivers, yeah.
Okay, so they're, drinking together, talking about Rhaenyra sent word about her plan to take King's Landing. They have a sweet moment. Well, I say sweet. I mean, like, it's obvious Corliss's guilt, where he said, I tried to provide for y'all, and literally, like, Alan's like, yeah, but you didn't provide a name. And in the end, that's what really mattered.
Yeah, in this world, legacy and name.
Yes,
like,
that's all. And can you imagine that you literally just live in a world that, like, if your mom just, like, got knocked up, like, wasn't married, that, like, your life's doomed?
I mean, we kind of live in that world now a little. I mean, not 100%, but back in the caste system and shit like that. Like, oh yeah, dude, you were done. Like, even like, switching shows a little bit. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, like, Dunk, like, he knows he's been knighted, but his hedge knight is dead, and so like he goes through and like, good for our man, the drunken Baratheon, that he's like, I'll support you or whatever. But they're like, bruh, like, unless you can prove that, you got to get your own sigil. You got to do all this basically because like you just weren't. You might be a great knight, but we don't know who your parents are. You weren't born in the right place, and therefore there's no really such thing as pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Like you see it occasionally in Game of Thrones.
I mean, it's a caste system for sure.
Occasionally in Game of Thrones, but like you literally have to be like an outlier amongst outliers for it to work.
The only person that it really shows in Game of Thrones that did that is Littlefinger, and it's because he literally just started a whorehouse. And
and he's regardless of whether you like him or not, a genius.
Oh yes, and was willing to go do as bad as he needed to do.
And that's the point I'm trying to make here is like, yes, it's possible, but it's not possible to do while having any type of morals whatsoever.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's just like how you can't be a multi-billionaire and
not have done bad things.
Yes, I'm not saying that you're completely evil, but like you've walked over some people.
Multi-billionaires are completely evil, I hear, but I'm
not even.
But yeah, saying, I get what you're saying. Yeah. But with Littlefinger too, like there's the reason that character is so complex is because like he is evil, and the only way he was able to make his way was evil. But there is a little part of you that like feels for him in the sense of like it's not fair that he wasn't allowed just to make his own way without doing terrible things because he didn't have a namesake. But you see what you can get away with, and then absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Back to Dragon Stealer. I mean, Sheep Stealer. Maybe Littlefinger was an asshole because everyone called him freaking Littlefinger.
I'm saying.
Like he was little and he was from the islands that they call the Fingers. And it's like, yeah, maybe he literally
Right. I mean, dude, like it's a chicken or egg situation. And like that's why I've said this a million times on the podcast before. Let me preface this by saying I'm glad Ted Kaczynski's dead. Okay, he murdered a bunch of people. The Unabomber.
Oh, I didn't know that was his name.
Ted Kaczynski.
Okay.
He should not have done all that stuff. However, were you aware that he was a victim of the MK Ultra experiments?
I don't know what those are.
The MK Ultra experiments were done at Harvard and other places where they were attempting, and I'm going to get a lot of these details wrong, but most people that listen to this, like they were fucking with these people psychologically. Like they were electrocuting. They took really, really smart people and they were trying to conduct mind control experiments and stuff for the army or whatnot. And they took this Kaczynski and he thinks he's like, oh my God, I've been selected. I'm special because he's wanted to be special his entire life. And he was brilliant. He got into Harvard and all that. But they did these crazy experiments on him, which made him very much distrust the government because then they just sent him loose and he's still fucked up in the brain. So again, I think he went about it in the wrong way because he killed some innocent people. But like at the end of the day, I go, yeah, well, maybe you shouldn't have prodded his fucking brain, and that wouldn't have happened. So like, yeah, with Littlefinger and a lot of these people, we tend to, a lot of the villains that we see, it's like
you should always be nice to the loners in school.
Right.
Guys.
There's some, we didn't create Elon Musk as a villain. He created himself. But there are some villains I do think that we low-key sort of create,
Yeah, when Elon Musk was born into, he already had, he was born on third base and thinks he hit a triple.
Oh, he was born 2 feet from the plate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and his daddy was the umpire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, anyways, go ahead with your thing.
All right. So they have that moment, la-di-da. And then we cut to Sheep Stealer and Raina, and he literally just she thought he had left. He's gone forever.
Right.
And then he comes back and just throws a sheep down and then burns it for her to have. And honestly, it was so cute.
It was so
cute. And then she's like, okay, I have to show that we're vibing. So she goes and eats the sheep or whatever. And it was cute.
It was very cute.
It's just he's like, oh, okay. He saw her I don't know. I'm a good boy.
And can I tell you something? This has nothing to do with the show, but it's similar. This morning, I went and got Bane out of his bed, and he was just running around, and I went back and laid on the couch, and I could hear him in there in the fridge or whatever. And he came into the living room, and he had 2 popsicles, and he said, one for Bane and one for Dada. And he got me a popsicle. And I thought it was so sweet. And by the way, they were the last 2 popsicles, so he sacrificed it.
That's sweet.
Yeah, my little sheep stealer.
Yes. All right. Then we're still on that, but I'm thinking, okay, well, where are Rhaenyra's kids?
Right.
She's supposed to be which I mean, I know
we
they
haven't
had
even seen a
servants.
lot. We haven't seen a lot of Rhaenyra up until this point.
But Raina was supposed to be caring for them.
Right.
And which I know that they had servants and stuff and all that, but like she was supposed to be like their family figure that was being a mother to them, because Rhaenyra literally like tells her like, I can't be the mom they need right now. I need you to be that 13-year-old child. Like she's like tells the little girl like, I need you to be their mom.
Sure.
Then
which at 13, you know, they're old enough.
Yeah. So then we pan to Green Daddy, who is Lord Hightower.
Green Daddy?
Yeah.
Oh, of the Greens. Yeah.
The House of Guinness guy. Yeah, so he's
hot. My God, dude, split me in half, dog. Like, I keep saying I'm not gay, but I'm not making a really good case for it. I love that motherfucker so much. There's been sorry for cursing, LJ's here.
Yeah.
There have been all of the new characters that have been introduced in this season. It's like the creators plucked my favorite actors from my favorite shows and put them in there, like Spiderweb from Slow Horses, which you still haven't started yet, which I want you to. He plays a horrible dude in the show, but I love him as an actor. And I can't remember, is Tom Young or something is the guy. He's from Grantchester. He was in the House of Guinness. He was in Happy Valley. He's unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't know his name. He's just daddy and everything.
He's big time daddy.
But dude comes up with a message from the message is from.
It's from Allison, made to look like it was from.
Aemond.
Yeah.
And poor dude comes up with it, and obviously he just smells so bad. And by the way, I would say like 10 yards away.
Yeah, but heck, he's been wearing metal through the hot, soupy mud.
But I'm just saying, like, you could have just like not got the thing to smell, like, and that cuts to him, and I'm just like, oh, like, you can't help it that he stinks.
But you know how bad he must have stank for his stank to stand out?
That's what I'm saying. Like, he was like 10 yards away.
It's not even that, but I'm just saying, like, everybody stank back then. Like, me and you've talked about this before, but like, you know, grossly, we think about like, you watch Outlander, you watch all these shows that are set back then where women are wearing 7 petticoats and it's July, and they'll cut to a scene where dudes like going dome on them, and you're like, my God, how horrible is that? But then you're like, they don't have anything to compare it to.
Like, that's just actually how liberating.
Like how right. Yeah. And a lot of them are just like,
there's nothing to be self-conscious. There's nothing to be self-conscious about.
Right.
And they're just thankful to be there. You know?
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Is like, if everybody stinks, nobody stinks.
Yeah.
So point is, this guy must have smelled particularly right.
Yeah, there was something like dead or something. But and then the younger guy that was with Green Daddy, you know, that's Allison's other son.
Yes.
Which conveniently does not have blonde hair.
Right.
So it makes you think, is he Crispy's kid?
Yeah, I mean, because we set up in the very first.
That's why he was in Old Town being raised.
Yeah, and if you think that's a coincidence, it's not, because we are set up in the very first season of Game of Thrones to be like the genes mean something. Like when someone doesn't have even the same color hair as their family, it's red flag goes up. Now I know, like, well, maybe this
from the first men, because that's why the Baratheons put the black hair,
right? Because
in the book, Princess Rhaenys has black hair,
right? Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, those things clearly do matter in this show. And also, Allison...
all the things she said about Rhaenyra.
100%. Yeah, so proceed.
Yes. Which, LOL, that, like, Rhaenyra really did try to make it seem like Laenor was their dad.
Dude, Rhaenyra is just on some bullshit all the time.
I'm rewatching season 1, and, like, young Rhaenyra honestly needed to be backhanded a couple times.
Several times.
And like, she literally seduced Crispy all because she was horny because of her uncle and stuff. Like, she honestly had no thought of anybody's consequences.
To be fair, most people seduce people because they're horny.
Yes, but she knew the consequences that he would have.
He would get killed, right? And she,
like, he was supposed to literally have a vow of chastity,
right? And we'd like to think that she's grown over time, but with the, you know, this is just in real life too. Like, I was reading a thing the other day that it was Prince Charles, well, King Charles now, his former servant is not his servant anymore, and he wrote this tell-all book, and he was talking about how he didn't like. he did not hate him. He didn't hate him at all, but he was like, I need y'all to understand just truly how privileged and how much they just do not know it they are, because they've lived such an insular life. He said that one time King Charles was sitting there and he was writing his daily correspondence, which by the way, I got to tell you, my least favorite part of being king would be that like they take that correspondence stuff serious. Like they will sit at their desk for 3 hours and just handwrite letters because that's what you're supposed to do. Well, anyways, he had done one and he realized he didn't like that draft and he crumpled it up and went to throw it in the wastebasket, which is right by his foot, and it missed, and he rang the bell, and the guy comes in, he's like, what can I do for you? So he goes, I tried to throw the paper in the wastebasket and it missed, so I need you to get it for me. And it's right by his foot.
We probably can't pick it up because of his sausage fingers.
Maybe, but like all he had to do was this, but like, again, the guy wrote it as if like he wasn't in any... He's like, I know the guy. He wasn't
trying to be demanding.
No, he's just like, that's what you do. Like, I don't throw things away. This guy does.
Like, I guess he doesn't throw things away.
No, he doesn't. Yeah. But anyways, my point is, a girl like Rhaenyra, like growing up in that feudal system, like, and your parents are the ones that are supposed to guide you. Well, they're A, never there, and B, when they are there, you're seeing them just like lay siege to other countries and have everything happen for them. So like, unless you have like Maid Marian in Robin Hood has that chicken lady that tells her stuff to do. Unless you really have a good one of those, you're going to grow up to be a piece of shit. And for those people, anytime one of those people, like a lady in waiting, does something that they all disagree with, they kill them. So it's impossible not to just have sycophants.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we go to Alicent talking to Aemond, and she's trying to convince Aemond to go to Harrenhal because, remember, she told Rhaenyra that Aemond would be gone. That Aegon would be gone. I'm sorry.
It's okay. There's many names that are confusing.
She said that Aemond would be gone and that Aegon was bedridden. So she could come and kill Aegon and take over the city. Well, you know, while she was like having her little trip doing that, that's when Aegon escaped and Aemond is, you know, like king for a moment, you know. And so she's trying to like be a mother talking to him, like, I know you're afraid, and like, you know, why don't you just go to Harrenhal and, you know,
drunk,
you can get
you a whore.
Yeah, you can kill Daemon and like all this, like it's gonna be great. And so he's like, you know what? No, but let's make out.
Let's make out. Yeah. I was wondering, you know, when we were gonna get some more incest out of this show.
And she's so scared after her face and the tear going down her cheek. She's terrified.
I was about to say, good lesson for any of our young viewers. This was sort of a perfect depiction of the nonverbal cues that you're supposed to pick up on, because like, it's true that she didn't push him away and say no, but obviously you can't do that to a Targaryen. You can't do but the way that they framed it to where the entire time they're kissing, her eyes are open. Like her eyes are open thinking like, what am I going to do here?
Because the Targaryens are like the only ones that incest is normal for them.
Right. Like, and also it's his stepmom.
That's his mom.
Oh, wait, that's his blood. Oh, no, you're right. You're right. That is his blood mom.
Yes. And in her head, she's probably thinking, oh my God, like he could force me to do all these things and there's nothing I can do about it.
Dude, you know what? Why is it that, well, I know, but like uncle and niece, that's terrible. Don't get me wrong.
Well, mother and son, she carried him in her
way.
way.
Yeah, and I was going to say, even brother and sister, like it's gross, but like, and I'm not saying I get it, but it's like, well, whatever. But like mother and son, and I can't decide what's grosser, if she had been the one that wanted to do it or him.
I think it's grosser if she wanted to.
That's correct.
Just because like, I can't explain it. It's just disgusting.
It's more disgusting than Cersei and Jaime ever was, in my opinion.
Well, of course. Well, not to condone that.
No, don't
But
condone
I
it.
do know that, like, twins have a
A
different...
special bond.
Yes, and how, like, if not taught, how if someone's already living in a sick world, how they could start to confuse that.
Right.
Like,
And then after a while, it's like you love who you love, and it's
yes, like, I
whatever.
mean, it's gross, but, like, they didn't grow up like just regular people down the road from, like, literally.
No,
like,
all their cousins were banging, so why would
and
they
then
think
their
that it...
dad ignored them, their mom died in childbirth, and it was basically just them against the world.
And dude, like, brother and sister breeding was a thing back in the day.
Really just Targaryens, though.
No, I know, but I mean like in real life.
Yeah, oh yeah, but I was looking at like the family tree, and it's like, okay, so Aegon's dad was Viserys. Well, Viserys was married to his first cousin.
Right.
Viserys and Daemon's parents were brother and sister.
Right.
Like, the fact that, and I know they're not going to make any of them like physically unappealing because that's just not good TV.
Yeah, but come on.
But like, literally, the fact that like they don't have like four ears.
Like, look
is
at the
just...
Habsburgs, which this is based
yeah,
on. Do you know that?
Yeah, and Sheep Stealer is based on the Habsburg jaw.
Do you know? And this is going to be mind blowing to you. That particular Habsburg that had the Habsburg jaw or whatever, because of all the incest that went on to make him, he wouldn't have been more incestual if his parents had just been brother and sister. Like, he was even more inbred than if his parents had just been brother and sister, because it went on for so many generations. Like, isn't that fucking crazy?
Yeah.
All right, proceed.
Well,
or are we caught up on this scene?
Yeah, no, we're caught up. I think that was basically, him kissing his mama and her obviously being completely terrified.
Okay, and we will be right back right after this. Would like to let you know, as always, this program particularly is brought to you by CoreyWritesForYou.com. Not only, that's my Substack, CoreyWritesForYou.com. Not only do you get my essays, bonus podcasts, my new audio drama, Here We Rest, but you will get these episodes before they release to everybody. Now, because we're very hastily putting this one together, it is Sunday as we're recording. Like, it is, it's 2:41 p.m. We'll be putting this episode out tonight as a primer for you to watch before the second episode, but it'll still come out at least an hour before at CoreyWritesForYou.com. In the future, it'll be a day before. So, CoreyWritesForYou.com. We will be right back right after this.
Mm-hmm.
Dolores. Hey, everybody. We are, you can't see her. She's, hold on, here we go. There's Dolores. There's our producer for the episode. Yes, you give the best sugar, you do. You give the best sugar.
All right, we're ready. Okay. We see Ulf taking a poop.
Ulf, yeah.
And seeing a scary goat.
I would like to point out, when we paused it for the last thing, we paused it and the caption in parentheses was Ulf farting and grunting.
Yes. And so he gets scared and he runs down to like the beach area, and he's like telling the other dragon seeds, like, I'm getting out of here. Like, Vagar's never coming. Like, this is ridiculous. And then other dude bro with the long white hair looks up and sees a scary goat man.
Yeah.
And I mean, and evidently that's a real like thing.
A goat man?
Well, it's not called that. That there's a term for it though. Like
in this universe?
Yes.
Okay, like an omen or something?
No, like it's a species.
Oh, you mean, like the Minotaur thing. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and that's just sort of passed on by, and somehow I'd totally forgotten about that. But like, I mean, of course there's giants and orcs and stuff, but like, hopefully that becomes a bigger thing. But I would have to imagine
surely it will, because there's a reason why they put it in there.
Of course, but also, wouldn't you believe that they go extinct? Otherwise, we would have seen them in the other Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I would assume so. But also,
I mean, that's how I feel about the black people in this show.
There's also like Children of the Forest, though.
That's true. That's true. That people never see.
And so then old creepy Alice Rivers, the witch, comes out of nowhere and is like, hey, like, there's a war going on at Dragonstone. Y'all are needed at Dragonstone. And also, why didn't they have their own ravens over there that could be like, hey, holler at Rhaenyra and see, like, what's up? Like, what's, like, why are...
That's a really good point because...
Like, they literally were just sent there with dragons just saying, hey, Aemon and Vhagar are going to come and you're supposed to kill them.
Yeah, I mean, unless I'm mistaken, we don't see the use of any ravens in this episode. And, like, the last time I remember someone using one in this show was... oh my God, Alicent's dad, the Hand of the King.
Well,
who he's dead, right?
No, he's off screen, like in a prison.
That's right. That's
but,
right.
Sea Daddy though said something about sending a raven.
Yeah. Okay. Right on.
But all right. Then we've got Lena telling Rhaenyra that there's war in the Gullet, and Rhaenyra says that she's like, all right, well, I gotta go. Like I'm. So she runs up to her room to go get her, like, gear and stuff, and Jace follows her, and he was like, no, what if you die? And she was like, well, then you get to be king, and then slams the door in his face. Then he turns around and looks at her guard and was like, listen, women and their hysterics.
Yeah.
We must lock her in because she's not thinking right.
Right.
So
now, I need to admit here to my sexism. I try to do this whenever... Because, as men, we're as good as... I consider myself a feminist and all that, but I still fall short of the glory of Ruth Bader Ginsburg from time to time, because there's just things that you don't really think about, prejudices and biases you have. And that was one of them when Rhaenyra was like, I've got to go fight or whatever, I was sitting here like, you dumb bitch, like, you're the queen, you can't go out there, you might get killed. But like I've said a million times, one of the reasons that I respect leaders from the time that this show depicts is like, no, kings did fight. You know what I'm saying? And for some reason, I wasn't allowing her that grace. Like, it's not really her being hysteric. She's behaving the same way that a king would. And in order for her to justify the fact that she can rule on the throne, she can't be acting all like a woman, even though I will say she do be crying too much. You got to hold that shit in.
Well, and one of the beauties of the whole dragon situation is that you literally, where they say like a woman can't fight as good as a man. When it comes to dragons, yes,
that don't matter. Yeah,
it literally
a
doesn't
5-year-old could take you down.
Like, as long as like they are a smart dragon rider and stuff, like it doesn't matter,
right?
And that's one of the cool things. I mean, but. That happens, then she realizes that she's locked in, and obviously she starts freaking out. Then we cut over to Sea Daddy, and he's just daddying
so hard. Just as you said, serving face.
Yes, and so he thinks that it's like the Greyjoys or something that are coming to attack. And then his son, Alan, says, no, it's the Trarchy.
Alan. That's a wild name for...
But it's Alan with the Y-N.
Sure.
Yeah.
But still.
Yes. Jason Lannister.
Yeah.
Jason, like...
Yeah, the Lannisters, I guess, did have normal names. You know what it is? This is me being racist.
Oh, yeah, the Lannisters were like the Swedes of the area.
Yeah.
They were
all their names were George and all that stuff.
They were the blonde, like, pure blood.
Of course. Yeah, because, I mean, Jamie,
Yes. So then he realizes that it's like the bitch fest, coming up on him. Cut to Rhaenyra tearing her clothes up, literally acting like a toddler.
She does that quite a bit. And I mean, it makes sense because when you've lived a life of such privilege as she has, like little tiny things set you off. But I mean, girl, you are the queen. You've got to be. Obviously, we know that there is the archetype of like the mad king or whatever, and that's not good to be. And it clearly runs in her blood. But like, kings punch stuff from time to time or whatever, but you gotta hold your cool.
And it clicked with me while we were rewatching it that like how quick she was to believe Rhaenyra about the whole Aegon situation was very Viserys of her.
Very Viserys of her.
To be like, oh yeah, well she said this and like this is
right. And Alicent,
Viserys good. He just literally like was naive.
Right. But also Allison too. Like it seems like she just, yeah, she is too trusting or too loyal, or like, I don't know what it is she has in her head that thinks that like, this is all going to be fine. I can just trust these people, because like, obviously Allison's playing her like a fiddle, and like, why would you trust her? Like there's an entire army.
But Allison wasn't playing her like a fiddle.
Well, that's true. That's true.
But why did she just automatically know that? You would have thought that she would have been like, wait, no.
Like, right.
Allison was pleading like as a mother.
Yeah. And I just got through saying, like, you know, if you want to be an effective leader, you can't be like a paranoid schizophrenic all the time. But like, you do have to be a little paranoid, because like, you just have to assume, I'd say if you're the queen, especially a usurping queen, your first thought has to be, something bad is going to happen to me, and there's no way someone's doing a good thing for me.
Yes. Yeah. And so Bitch Fist shoots Jace's dragon, which they have a contraption. It's specifically for the dragons, where after they're shot, an anchor drops.
Right.
Set to weigh the dragon down. Well, Lena's dragon, Moon Dancer, goes and burns the rope to save Jace's dragon. And I still just don't understand why, like, literally when the dragons just showed up, how they couldn't have just literally right then just burnt the enemy ships and it was just done.
I mean, that's what I would have done.
And I know that there were arrows going everywhere that they were having to like dodge or whatever.
Well, there are rules to war, you know. I don't know what they are in this world, but like there are, you know.
But it was after battle, like it wasn't.
No, I know that, but like I was thinking about this the other day. Like, here's the show that I want. Whatever the United Nations is in Westeros, I want an entire 8-episode season where they have to treat dragons as if they are nuclear weapons, and have to have some sort of accordance with like the 8 to be like, look.
It's kind of like on the Santa Claus whenever Jack Frost is like bad and like the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah.
And like all of them convene for their council.
Yeah,
that
right.
really is it.
Right, yeah. We need
Mother
that.
Nature is
Yeah.
there.
Like we need that where we're like, look, we know that we live in these wild feudal times, but like this is barbaric, and we do have to have some unification to say nuclear weapons are off the table. And then maybe there's like a postseason after that that's like the Cold War, where everybody's got their dragon held up and they might. But like realistically, dude, I know they're creatures, but like if you live in that world and you want to have any type of united peace, you got to kill all the dragons because they're nukes.
Yeah, they're nukes. Then I thought this was like literally like so cute. Sea Snake's like, oh crap, I got to figure all this out. Well, he's telling whoever's behind the wheel like what to do. Well, dude's just like not doing it right.
Yeah.
And instead of being like, get out of the way, he's like, okay, let me just take over real quick. Like, he was so nice,
sweet,
and calm
under pressure.
Yeah, calm under pressure.
Yeah, because that's a guy that will die for you, not one that you scream at.
Yes, and so then we see Raina. Yeah, Raina fly. She's flying back in, and she's like, oh, we're home. And then she sees all the smoke in the gullet, and she's like, oh God, okay, sheep stealer, we got to go help them. So
my name is Kevin.
Yeah. So she flies to the battle. Sea Snake sees Driftwood on fire. And then Bitch Fist runs her ship into the snake. Oh, also, why was the Sea Daddy so confident that the Bitch Fist like wouldn't be able to get through the teeth?
I mean, I don't know. That guy just seems to operate with confidence. Like, he seems to be one of those like manifestation guys where he's just like, if I think it, it will be. I have no idea. My only real answer is that worked for the plot.
Have you seen the memes of like Sea Snake? Like, look, like it's like him, and it like looks like Denzel Washington in Training Day.
Hilarious.
Training Day, and then it's just like him, like just backing up.
I haven't seen any of the memes, and I will use this opportunity to remind you, I haven't seen any of them. You need to be sending me those memes and collecting them so that next week we can get back to our famed segment, the Reddit Keep.
Okay.
We didn't do it this week. We had to throw everything together. We are sorry because, frankly, and I'll admit it here, I did not know the show was even coming out until Kirby texted me the day of and was like, by the way, you know, season 3 comes out tonight.
Yeah. Well, also, you didn't watch it right when it first came out. So, like, I couldn't send you some stuff because I couldn't spoil it for you.
That's
yet.
true. But from now on, remember, we have to have a
Yes.
group text with the memes for the Reddit Keep.
True. Memes of the poppy.
Memes of the poppy. There you go.
Let's see. All right. Sheep stealer flies into battle. The bitch fist runs her ship into the snake, and the battle continues on the boat.
That was a pretty badass scene.
Yeah,
the people in the water stabbing each other and whatnot.
And Sheep Stealer starts burning the wrong boats because Sheep Stealer's just like, you know what? Everyone's shooting at me. I don't know who's, you know.
He's just dragging in.
I don't know whose shirts and whose skins.
He's just
you know what I mean?
That's such a great point. Like if you
I don't know who the good and the
right. Like a police dog knows not to bite a police officer because they're wearing a uniform, but like if you just let one loose, like it's just going to start tearing ass into everybody.
Like, you know, from an outsider's perspective, which Sheep Stealer is, everyone's looking pretty bad.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it doesn't seem like any. You know what? I'm just going to burn all of you. We'll start over. Yeah. I think about that a lot in regular battle scenes, like in, for instance, the one at the beginning of this. Like when they have the banners, that's one thing. You can understand when the battle's about to start. Here they come. But once they get in the pile. Like, are you just recognizing everybody's face? Because, like, if I turn around and someone's got a knife, I'm probably going to stab them.
We talked about that last season of the podcast. Literally, like, yeah, everyone
like
just looks the same.
How?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Anything to add, Laura James?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's burning the wrong boats. Raina's like, oh my gosh, stop. Like, she can't control him. And, like, she's got the look of terror. Alan yells out to his father, and all of a sudden he's got this look on his face when he realizes he sees the bitch, and he's like, I'm gonna kill her.
Right.
So he runs and tackles her. They fall like off the boat, like into the water.
Very cool scene.
And he ends up stabbing her in the throat, and she dies. And during all this, Sheep Stealer ends up flying away. Jace's dragon gets shot again.
Yeah.
And goes down. And once the dragon is underwater, Jace unties himself, swims up to the top. Instead of just, you know, literally, he could have cut the dragon's rope so it wouldn't drown.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, I know, like,
he'd a battle, whatever.
So he swims up to the top, and all of a sudden he gets shot 3 times. Final one's in the neck, and serves face and dies. And that's the end of it.
There you go. But I was going to ask, don't you think that considering they've had dragons for a millennia, and they're not short on like sheepskin and all sorts of stuff that you could make a big tarp of, wouldn't you think they would have already invented parachutes?
Yeah. Yeah, you would have thought.
You would have thought, because like, again, like falling off a dragon has clearly been a concern, and they know how tents work. You would think that there would be, you know, this little plot hole for me. I would think that especially the High Valyrian people with a lot of money, they would have like, you know, commissioned somebody. Please, we got to have this thing. But
well, someone like Laris would be the one to invent that, and they'd probably be like, whatever, pussy.
Yeah, or it might be like, from the showrunners and book writer perspective, a case of like the Tiffany problem, where they're like, people just won't believe it. It'll look too modern, even though, like, again, I believe.
Well, we can't make it too easy, or literally, like, the battles would just not last as long. And
for sure. But I'm saying, like, most people would go, well, like, parachutes didn't exist in medieval England. And I'm like, right, because they weren't riding dragons. But if they were riding dragon, like the second we invented airplanes, we were like, we should probably have a thing in case we fall off of this.
Yeah.
So that's my notes. Well, obviously, we rate this out of 1 to 5 dragons, correct?
I'm giving it 4.5 dragons because honestly, it gave major Game of Thrones vibes.
Yeah.
And I felt like we missed that in season 2 a lot. Season 1, we got that at the beginning, like, you know, the episode with the Rogue Prince.
Yeah.
Where he kills the crab feeder or whatever. But it was major Game of Thrones vibes. Like, I loved the intensity of the battle. And, you know, back during Game of Thrones, the best episodes were the episodes with battles.
Without questions, the one that you can remember their names, the Battle of the Bastards.
Oh,
I mean, that's an episode that, like, even if I'm not rewatching Game of Thrones, sometimes I'll just watch that episode.
Oh, yeah.
And just treat it like a movie.
Mm-hmm.
No, I agree. I'm going to go with a hard 4.4, and I'm only giving it 1 less than you because, and for the record, this isn't actually a criticism because I understand why. There's a lot of characters. This is a season premiere. You're having to lay a lot of pipe. But my man Damon just don't have enough screen time for me. I'm such a Matt Smith stan that, like...
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
He's in one scene, right? Yeah. And again, it could be for a myriad of reasons. He's shooting something else, or they don't need it for the plot. I understand that.
Which scene was he in?
He was in the one where he meets the Starks. He comes up and he's So he's in that. There wasn't Rhaenyra didn't have a lot of screen time either, but a lot of it took place in the battle. My point is, I understand all of that for pacing purposes, but I can't give
as a fan, you just wish you could have seen that.
As a fan, I can't give something a 5 if my favorite character is non-existent in it. But I agree with you. It felt such like an OG episode of Game of Thrones. I think that was probably a response to a lot of the criticism of season 2 was that it sort of just drug on and on and on, which it did. Now, that said, they opened so hard here. Like, this felt more like a penultimate episode or a finale.
Like the second to last episode.
It felt like,
it felt like.
Yes, it felt like either a penultimate episode or a series finale. So my question is, I mean, are we in episode 2? Are we about to see the action still being ramped up, or are we going to have like a little cool down? I guess, where do you go from here? But those are champagne problems after such a great episode.
Well, it's more than likely going to start right off with Rhaenyra finding out about Jace.
Right.
And obviously she, loses it. I'm anxious to see what the consequences are going to be for Rhaena.
Yeah.
Because obviously, like, her sister's going to be like, hey, like, she literally messed this. Like, Jace would probably be alive.
100%.
And like, all the casualties were sheep. Actually, they're not sheep stealers' fault.
No, nothing is sheep stealers' fault. He is sheep stealer just pawn in Game of Life.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, like, he did not know who the good and bad guys were.
Right.
That was so stupid of her to do that.
I know.
But also, I think that ties back to the fact that they feel like their only purpose in life is to get a dragon, and that's the only way they can get respect and love.
Right.
So she sees...
But they don't think of, like, how to use it once you have it.
And I think that they're all just so unawarely full of themselves that they don't get that, like, the dragons don't just automatically bow down to them.
Of course. You got to train it. There's a whole movie about how to do it.
There's a whole movie about training your dragon.
3 of them, actually. Yeah. It's very necessary. Mm-hmm. But I loved it, and I'll be honest, while I liked season 2, I really did like season 2. It still left me with a little like, all right, that kind of felt like, I'm glad to be in Westeros, but that kind of felt like filler. Then...
Well, yeah, and then there were just some scenes that were just too hard to handle, like the blood and cheese.
It was very difficult. Mm-hmm. That said, I think... Number one, I feel like the wait was worth it. They really delivered in that first episode. It was made easier, in my opinion, by the fact that we did get Night of the Seven Kingdoms back in January. So we've been in this world before, which, by the way, I know that show's off the air now, but I still think me and you should do a rewatch of it because it was so tremendous if you want to do that for a bonus thing. But I'm excited to see where this goes. I give it a 4.4. Lady Kirby gives it a 4.5. We'll round it. The 4.5 wins. This was a 4.5 out of 5 dragons. Loved it. Thank you for tuning in.
Yes.
Remember to watch the episode tonight. We have some people on here, Kirby, that they do not even watch this show, but they love you so much that they tune into this.
Well, I love y'all.
So thank you to the real star of the show, Lady Kirby. Listen to Puttin' on Airs on this same podcast feed. Obviously, listen to our other podcasts, Well Read. Listen to Weekly Skews, everything in the Skewniverse. And as always, this episode is brought to you by CoreyWritesForYou.com, which is my Substack, where right now, stay tuned, you are going to hear chapters 1 and 2 of my brand new audio drama, Here We Rest. Stay fancy, y'all.
I have one comment.
Okay.
My baby's been in the background of this whole thing, basically.
Yes, you shouldn't be able to hear her. I have good.
But unless you're going to comment and say how amazing she is,
yes,
don't comment at all, because I have these special voodoo powers and you'll probably have diarrhea for the rest of your life if you do.
That's correct. That is also my niece and my favorite person in the world. So if you love me at all and don't want to make me mad, don't say anything unless it's positive, because there are people who can track you down by your IP address, and I will send a dragon to your home. CoreyWritesForYou.com. Stay fancy, y'all. Okay. One more thing.
She's just looking at herself in the mirror.
My sweet. Hey, everybody. As mentioned earlier, here is Here We Rest Parts 1 and 2, a Southern crime drama by your boy Corey Ryan Forrester that can be found at CoreyWritesForYou.com. You can subscribe there absolutely for free and read and listen to everything I do, and that is where you will be able to find parts 3 and 4 before anybody else when they come out. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. Fishing downstream from a nuclear power plant ain't the smartest thing a man could do, but there's set Randall doing it nohow. Says he reckons he won't eat 'em, but it sure is fun trying to catch them three-headed sumbitches. I suppose it was. Randall Daltrey was many things, but a liar he weren't. Up at the fire, his wife Martha was explaining to some distant cousin about how you can't do double coupons at every grocery store, but she had a list of the ones where you could. She had a permanent Band-Aid on her big toe because she couldn't stop knocking it on the metal rod sticking out of her recliner. She wouldn't fix it because the Braves hadn't lost a pennant since it broke, and Jesus wasn't her only superstition. The kids ran around, in the parlance of the time, like little wild Indians, not concerning themselves with the value of that which they broke. One was trying to fix a bicycle chain and only making it worse, while Aunt Ida's twin girls bogarted the jump rope so they could double dutch until the sun went down and it was time to swat at lightning bugs with a wiffle ball bat. I was behind the screen door in the camper. The camper did not come with the screen door, so Randall took the one off his dead mama's porch and sanded it down to fit. It was not practical, but it was nice, and everyone got a kick out of it. That was Randall's way. It didn't matter if something is supposed to be, only that it could be. He didn't stop to consider the foolish notion of pragmatism when he got an idea on how to make something fun. He once traced his son Levi on a door with a carpenter's pencil and used a track saw to cut out an opening that only Levi could fit through. It made no sense and took all purpose away from the door, but Levi thought it was the neatest thing in the world, and that's all that mattered to Randall. I sat there drinking some homebrew made by who else but Randall Daltrey. I'd pretty much given up on strong drink when Sheila left me, but I couldn't turn down Randall's apple pie. It burned in that real good way that lets you know it's going to work, but don't sour your face too much. It was that good. I had been inside for a few hours just watching the little dramas of the family unfold in front of me while praying no one needed me for anything. I like these gatherings in theory, but I prefer to keep to myself, especially back then. Seems like every time I participated in something, I'd mess it up. That's probably why she left. Didn't have shit all to do with the drinking. I could ruin just about anything while sober as a judge. Or at least I'd tell myself that to justify another swig. Then another. And then it was on to the next mason jar. Randall didn't care. He made enough back in the day to get us through the Cold War if it ever came to that, and as we all know, it didn't. I laid back on the itchy old camper couch and started to nod off when I heard a commotion down on the bank. "Holy shit!" Randall screamed, forcing Sheila out of my mind for the first time all day. "Sonny boy, get down here!" He called me Sonny Boy despite my name being Steve. Sonny Boy was his tail gunner back in the Pacific Theater, and I assumed it was a term of endearment until I found out he called me that because after the war, Sonny Boy moped around aimlessly until shell shock got the better of him and he shot a double dose of black tar in his neck. This was apparently Randall's fun way of calling me a sad sack. I know he loved me, it's just that generation had a hard time showing it. I ran down to meet him, forgetting I'd just foundered myself on corn liquor, and took out several lawn chairs on my way. I managed to stay on my feet by some miracle, but the sloshing in my stomach was about to send a bill of sale to my mouth. "What's going on, Randall?" I said between gasps of breath while resting my elbows on my knees and my chin on my chest. Then I smelled it. I vomited so hard there was a wonder a lung didn't come up with it. There was a body floating in the water, and from what we knew from old detective shows, it had been there a while. "Hot damn, whoever he is, he's blowed up like a damn birthday balloon," Randall said nasally while pinching his nose. "We better call the law. I got Sheriff Stevens' number somewhere in my truck." I took a boat oar and slowly but surely got the body flipped over on its back. I gasped. "What is it, Sonny boy?" I wiped the puke off my mouth and prepared for another round of it. I was in shock. The words were right there, but it took them a minute to reach my lips. It's Sheriff Stevens," I said. Randall looked at me and his face turned white. "Well," he said, "I reckon he's not going to answer the phone then." Part 2. Growing up in the rural South, a floating carcass was perhaps not the most unsettling thing I've ever seen, but it certainly would be for the children. Randall had a stillness about him that I'd never seen him wear. We were not blood, but that changes nothing. Randall is as much family to me as anyone with the last name Crosland ever was. When I was a teenager and needed to get away from everything going on at home, Randall and Martha's door was always open to me. Randall was a tough man, but a fair man. He also had a great sense of humor, which juxtaposed comically with his tough military exterior. When you've watched your best friends die face down in the mud amidst the roar of enemy artillery, I reckon it makes life's normal woes seems like child's play in comparison. I never saw a situation get the better of him in the 30-some-odd years I've known him, but today was different. Seeing Sheriff Stevens' body sway back and forth in the wake, bloated and stinking of death, caused Randall to take a rare long beat before speaking, and when he finally did, I wish he hadn't. "You need to make the call, Sonny boy." I knew he was right, but that changed nothing as far as my feelings were concerned. I had spent the better part of the week trying to see how much liquor could kill a man so I could just hover below that threshold. I'm an emotional wreck even without punishing my body, so standing there, having not had a sip of water in as long as I could remember, I was numb. Well, no, that's not true. I was very much in pain. I would have killed for numb, actually. But I certainly couldn't think clear enough to make a weighted decision. In that moment, the only things I knew was that I still loved Sheila and that the distance between us was my fault. I had been wanting to reach out to her for so long, to lie to her and tell her I'd changed, to tell her that things would be different, to ask if she'd come back in my life and make me whole once more. But now, instead, I'd have to call and tell her that her daddy was dead. I knew what I was supposed to do, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. "Randall, we better call the police first. I'll holler at her afterwards, but I don't want to be accused of failing to report this shit in time." Randall looked at me funny. "Well, he'll be just as dead when you get off the phone with her, but knock yourself out, Sonny boy." As I went to walk up to the bank to get a telephone, I heard a loud boat chopping through the water. As I turned and looked, I noticed a Coast Guard flag. I reckoned that meant I could stay put. Perhaps someone else had called it in before he washed up towards us. The uniformed fella in the passenger seat hollered at us over a bullhorn. "Step away from the body this instant." I thought to myself, What the hell did they think we were about to do? Field dress the dead sumbitch and cook him for dinner? I mean, I know you ain't supposed to contaminate a crime scene, but it doesn't take a detective to figure out that this isn't where the murder happened. Damn, is that what I think happened? A murder? Of course, that's what happened. Sheriff Steve was a lifelong fisherman, a star athlete, and a very cautious and safety prone man. There is no way you could convince me he just fell in the water and died. It may not have been murder one, hell, it may have even been an accident, but one thing is for sure this was someone other than Sheriff Stevens' doing. The Coast Guard feller spoke once again. Terribly sorry to alarm you folks, just didn't want you too close to the body in case it explodes. They do that sometimes, you know. Gases in your body break down after death, and, well, you can go up like a hot fart out of nowhere. I suppose that is true. I certainly didn't major in anything that gave me an argument against it, but it was a rather odd thing to say over the body of a dead man. Okay, I said, but I don't think he's been dead that long. Medical examiner, are we? He said. Nope, just watch a lot of procedurals. Without saying another word, the Coast Guard boat inched as close as it could without grounding itself and then used what looked like a pool cleaner to drag the body closer and then eventually on deck. All right, guys, be safe. Are y'all going to send someone to get our statement? Randall screamed, but they just kept on driving. I was stunned. Almost no sooner than we had discovered the dead body, it was scooped up and heading the other way. No interview, no police tape, no sirens. To say I was in shock would be an understatement. While I was in this disillusioned state, however, I somehow mustered the courage to pick up the phone. She may not love me anymore, but the news should at least come from someone she knows. As the phone rang, I thought about what I might say. I thought about our wedding. I thought about the years I'd thrown away. But mostly, I thought about how horrible it was that I was about to hurt her worse than I ever have. When she answered the phone, I went numb. You don't ever consider that you'll miss someone's voice, but God damn it, I did. Her innocent alto, almost whispering, hello, sent chills down my spine. How could I have fucked this up? Why can't I just be normal? Hello, she said again. Steve, are you there? I'm here. Hey, Sheila. Steve, what do you want? I have to tell you something. Are you sitting down? I am actually. I'm sitting down to lunch. Okay, well, if you're with someone, you might want to excuse yourself because this is going to come as a shock. Steve, you're scaring me. I was scaring myself too. The butterflies in my stomach were laying eggs. Sheila, your dad is dead. There was a long pause. I didn't think I could handle hearing her cry. Looking back, I wish to God she had of, because what happened instead is something that I'll never get over. Steve, I don't know whether to laugh or throw my phone. Are you drinking again? What the fuck is your problem? Is this your idea of a joke? I knew it would be difficult, but I didn't think I'd be called a liar. Sheila, I don't want to be doing this, but I thought you'd want to hear it from someone you knew. Your daddy is dead. Steve, Sheila said in a stern tone, that is impossible. I assure you it's not. I just saw him. They took him on down the lake in a Coast Guard boat. I'm sure they'll call you soon. Steve, I'm sitting here with my father right now. I went numb once more. To be continued.